In this particular example, we're going to look at a fairly difficult one. It's only difficult, be very careful here, it is only difficult because it looks awful. It just looks that way. It's not awful at all, but we want to do it in careful steps. Okay, so let's go back and review our order of operations. We want to work on our parentheses, brackets, and braces from the inside out. So very first thing, we want to go find what's on the innermost sets and work with those first. Okay. When we do this, I'm actually going to work with one chunk at a time. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work through our exponents, multiplication, division, and addition, subtraction within those innermost parentheses, brackets, or braces. And then as we finish with that chunk, we're going to write that down, and we're going to expand out to the next level. Okay, and so you can see from this problem we've got all three. We've got braces. By the way, these are braces. We have brackets, and we have parentheses. Now, later on, it's not normal to use braces. Brackets and parentheses fine, and they alternate typically. Braces are typically not used later on in math because they represent a specific mathematical form. Okay, they're used in very specific cases, and so they're listed here as possible grouping symbols, but outside of how you look at it now, it's not used all that often. Let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to find our innermost sets. Now if you notice, the braces tend to be on the outside, followed by the brackets, followed by the parentheses. So let's go ahead and find those innermost. Well, here's one level, here's level 2, here's level 2, level 2, level 3, level 3, level 2, level 1. Here's level 1, here's level 2, here's level 3, here's level 3, here's level 2, here's level 1. I did this to illustrate the different levels. We're going to work in between the level 3s first, because those are the innermost. Everything else we're just going to go ahead and copy right back down. And so for this first step here, only deal with things in between the 3s. And so I'm going to go ahead and just copy down everything else. 20 minus 2 times 7. And that's times, it's not point, it's times. Times 2 times 7, or 2 times 7 minus 50 divided by, okay, now we have a 3 here. So go inside and do what's inside. I'm going to go ahead and change colors to show you here. I'm going to do what's inside, and I don't have any exponents, I don't have any multiplication or division, I just have subtraction. So 16 minus 6 is 10. And I'm going to go ahead and leave that in parentheses, but know that I'm done with it. Okay, so let's go back to green. Finish that up, and then plus. Now we have another open braces. 21 minus 3 times 4 plus parenthesis now, or bracket now. Again, we look at what's inside. Do your order of operations inside. I have a subtraction. I have multiplication. I need to do multiplication first. Okay, multiplication comes before subtraction. And so 5 times 5 is 25. 40, and I do this typically, I'll just cross that out, put 25. 40 minus 25 is 15. So that whole mess is 15. So I'm going to go ahead and write in parentheses 15. Then I'm going to go ahead and work everything else out. So it's plus 2, close brackets, close the braces. Again, go through, label it. And so here's 1, 2, 2, 2. Now, nothing inside of the parentheses, so those don't matter anymore. 2, 2, 1. Now we're going to do everything inside of group 2. And we're just going to write down everything else. And so we open up our braces. Now we have a 2, and so we have, I'm going to put this in purple again, 2 times 7 is 14. 20 minus 14 is 6. So we have 6 in those sets of braces. I'm going to bring down my minus sign. And now I'm going to work on the inside of here. 50 divided by 10. Notice I'm not really looking at exponents anymore. There are none. And so as you work through this, you're going to kind of show, or kind of understand which ones of these you have to use. And so since there's no exponents, we go to multiplication and division. 50 divided by 10 is the only thing in there, and so that is just going to be 5. So that whole mess is going to be 5. So I'm going to take that and put that in there. And then I go ahead and I close off the braces. Notice I'm just doing them in steps, taking a little bit at a time. Open the brace. 21 minus 3 times 4 plus, and now we come to a second level. And so we've got, inside of that, we've got 15 plus 2 is 17. So we're going to put 17 in brackets. We're going to close that off. All right, now for the big one. We're done. We're down to group 1. So now all the groups get taken care of. You're going to come up with a number here. This number is going to be 6 minus 5 is going to give us 1. Since there's nothing outside of the braces, you can leave them off or you can put them on. Doesn't matter. I recommend putting them on right at first. Okay, we don't have anything there. And then we go back to blue. And we inside here, we're going to do a little bit at a time. Remember that exponents come first, then multiplication, division, then addition and subtraction, all working from left to right. There's no exponents. We don't have any of those little superscripts. We do have a multiplication right here. That's 12. And then we just simply work in this method. Okay, so now 21 minus 12 is 9 plus 17 is going to give us 26. Okay, and so inside that whole mess is the number 26. And now you don't have any exponents, you don't have any multiplication, division, you do have addition and subtraction at the end here. And so 1 plus 26 is going to give you 27. And that's the answer. Now, this has to happen in real life when you're dealing with very complicated situations. Real life gets to be very complicated. After you learn how to add, subtract, multiply, divide, you typically need about 10 years of good hard math experience before you can start looking at real life, because there are so many variables. So this might be the end result of a function, say in an Excel spreadsheet for payroll or that sort of thing. All right, step by step, go through it step by step. You'll be fine.